All right. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. How is everyone doing? I'm so excited to be here. Welcome to a Lunch and Learn. So, if you are not familiar with me, I am Ryan McCrary, also known as the Funnel Doctor. Really excited to be with everyone today. I got a really important guest that I want to share with everyone. We've been talking for a while now. We've been trying to get this scheduled, and both our schedules are really crazy. She travels a lot, has a lot going on, but I definitely am excited to bring this conversation to you all because I feel like it is so needed. The way things are, in business and entrepreneurship and just media and marketing and stuff like that, is so important that we just have visibility and awareness and eyeballs on what we do. I truly believe entrepreneurs have great products and services, but the problem a lot of time is a lot of people don't even know that you exist. So how can they buy from you if they don't know that you exist? How can you serve them and solve their problems and you know just deliver amazing results to people if they don't even know that you exist? So that is why I have a very special guest that we're going to speak with today, Miss Lenitra King. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I am blessed. I can't complain. Thank you for having me.
Yep. Very excited to be here. So, of course, before we get started, let people know, who you are, what you do, where you from, and so forth.
Yes, so I am Lenitra King and I run an award-winning PR agency. And my team and I, we have a 100% success rate at getting our clients TV, radio, or print press. And our clients typically see results in 90 days or less. And I am from Charleston, South Carolina. However, we serve clients all over the country.
That is great. All right, that's great.
Yes.
And then how long have you been doing, everything that you've been doing?
Yeah, so I have been doing PR for over 15 years. I started my PR agency in 2015. So we'll be celebrating a decade in business next Thursday. We're actually doing a virtual celebration, and it's going to be a decade of press domination and how experts are leveraging their media wins for recognition, ROI, and legacy. So that's going to be next Thursday on the 18th. So if anyone's interested in joining us, just comment RSVP and I'll make sure you get the link.
Absolutely. So of course we got a lot of stuff to talk about, and I do want you to share your screen. And I know you have a slide, so she got slides, y'all.
Yeah.
It's not just going to be a conversation. We have slides and stuff, so I want you to share that in a moment. But I really want to go back first and like really talk about what really led you into this. Did you always want to be in this field? Did it come later on? Is this what you went to school for? Like, tell me about like the early stages of like this, even prior to where you were doing this, and what was the evolution of it?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I've been time since I was 16 years old. And so when I was 16, my first full-time job was at Sears. You remember Sears?
Yeah, I do actually.
Yeah.
I'm old school. I do.
Yes. So honestly, it started there. So I would be, I would clock in, I would be ringing items, and then it would be this one question that we all ask. When we work at a store, do you know what that question is? Like, what's the question when you go check out? What's the question they ask all the time?
Is there anything else you need? Did you find everything? Or do you want a warranty or something like that?
It is, would you like to apply for a credit card?
Oh, credit card. Yeah, definitely credit card.
Yeah. So basically I had to take this dreaded product and make it so interesting and captivating that people would want to sign up. And I had literally 30 seconds. And so I really fell in love with taking this thing and making it so captivating and positioning it in a way for people to say yes. And so I was the number one in not only my store, but in my district in credit card signups. And that's really where that seed started, and really me learning how important positioning is. And so from there, I did go to school I went to University of South Carolina, so go Gamecocks. And and so yeah, I got my bachelor's in journalism and mass communications. I actually was going to advertise. Well, at first I was majoring in advertising, but then I was like, I like writing a lot. PR involves a lot of writing, and I also like working with more services and businesses versus products. So I switched to PR. And so, yeah, I have my degree in PR and then my master's in integrated marketing communications.
That's awesome. All right. Well, I know you have some great stuff to share with the people, so I'm going to bring your presentation up. Hopefully, everyone can see it. I know we got some folks, checking out on multiple platforms. So let us know, if you can see everything, if you can hear us, if you can see her screen. She got some great information that she is going to be sharing. I got my pen and I got my paper ready because I am ready to take a lot of notes, and I got tons of additional questions for you. Because I feel like, honestly, I'm gonna be all the way real with you.
Yeah.
I feel like people don't from the outside looking in, you know what I mean? And I'm not a PR expert, but I feel like a lot of people don't leverage it correctly. You know what I mean? And they're like, I know I need PR, I need media, I need, I want to press, I want to do all that. And they go about maybe getting it or either hiring the wrong person to do it. They may get it, they may bank on that, and it may not turn all the way out like how they want it to be. And then, it's like, it's done, I did it, I didn't really get a lot of hits. But I don't think they really leverage it correctly and have like really understand the full process of it and understanding what that should be used for and how it can funnel other things. So I got a lot of questions around that, but I would definitely love you to share, your presentation with everyone.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we can just have a conversation. Like, we can go with the flow. I'm cool with having a conversation and then I can come back and do a presentation, but because that is a needed conversation, you are absolutely correct. So whatever way you want to go, I'm good.
Okay. Let's go through the presentation because I ain't gonna lie, I wanna learn as well. Like, I love learning and reading and studying and stuff like that. So I think you should go through that first, and then if we can just come back and have a conversation and talk about it and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. So let's start with how to land large press without a lot of followers, even if you're not a celebrity. And thank you for hanging out with us today. And Ryan, thank you for having me for the Lunch and Learn. I want you to comment as you're joining us, as you're watching the replay, if you can comment where you're from and what you do, so I can speak, directly to you and respond in the comments. If I can see the comments, if I can't see the comments, I'll make sure and go back and respond to you. But so if you're ready to learn how to get press and grow your business with press, I want you to go ahead and put ready in the comments, because just like Ryan, I want you to be ready to take your notes. If you've ever attended any one of my trainings or you follow my content, you know that I do not hold back, and this isn't going to be any different. So this is going to be real good. So first, I like to do a roll call. I like to see where everyone is at. So as I do this roll call and you hear yourself, I want you to respond accordingly. So I want to make sure this is resonating with you. So this is for you for this Lunch and Learn. If you are an expert who has mastered what it is you do. So if that is you, I want you to put a 1 in the comments. And if you are a thought leader and you can speak to different topics within your industry with ease, different trends that are going on, you really know your industry and your expertise with ease, I want you to put a 2 in the comments. And then if you're a consultant and you provide specific strategies to your clients, to your community, I want you to represent and put a 3 in the comments. And if you are a service-based business owner, listen, I saw a video. I'm not sure if you saw this, Ryan. I think it was like last week, I saw a video and a group of ladies came together and they cash mobs a local business. I believe it may have been in Maryland, and they supported and just bought from her business, and they all came together and did a cash mob. And I thought that was so good. And I see that a lot with like product-based businesses and brick and mortar businesses, but I would love to see that with service-based businesses. I think that would be super dope.
Definitely. I don't think I saw that particular story, but I do see that happen a lot, and I love that too, and I love being part of it also.
Yeah, and I'm wondering how we can do that, as service-based businesses. But if you look on my page, you'll see it. It's really cool. So if you're a service-based business owner, represent, put a 4 in the comments. And if you've made at least 6 figures in your business, put 5A in the comments. And if you've had your business for at least 5 years full-time, put 5B in the comments. So I know where everyone is and I can speak to where you are and where you want to go. Like I said, we are celebrating a decade in business next year. So we're going to be talking about, how to sustain a business for over a decade and what it takes. And so I really want everyone to get the most out of this lunch and learn. Make sure you're in a space with limited to no distractions. I know it's the holidays, y'all. I know how busy we are. Me and Ryan just talked about how busy we are, but we got to make time for what we want to see, right? You think about a thermostat and a thermometer, right? So a thermostat is basically is not setting the temperature, but a thermometer is. And so we need to make sure that we set the atmosphere and we set our environment for the success that we want to see. And make sure to follow, share, and tag on social media. On Instagram, you can follow me on IM_Lenitra or Indicator PR. And then on Facebook, it's Lenitra K or Indicator PR. And if you can't tell already, this is definitely a two-way conversation. So whether you're watching live or joining the replay, make sure to comment and engage with me, and make sure you stay at the end. I do have a free gift for you, and I only did this exclusively for you, Ryan, and your community, making some things happen. So make sure y'all stay to the end. Okay, so I explained a little bit about who I was before, but I want you to know why you should listen to me. So once again, I do run an award-winning PR agency, and we do have 100% success rate. I get in our clients TV, radio, or print press in 90 days or less. So that
wait. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to cut you off. 100% success rate. Yes. I can't let that just slide by because I don't think a lot of PR experts are able to say that correctly. So if you can just, really, and I didn't mean to cut you off. I know you.
No, feel free to interject. And if you, let's do it. Yeah. So what that means with 100% success rate is there has never been a time that we have not been able to secure our clients TV, radio, or print press within 90 days. And so, and I'm not just talking about for 5 or 10 clients, but we've worked with over 50 clients, over the past several years. And so our team has been able to make things happen.
I don't know what happened.
Oh, there, Ryan's back. Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know what happened. It just kicked me out. It kicked me out of my own studio. Now I'm back.
No, it's good. Yeah, I was just letting them know what that means is that there's never been a time that we have not been able to get our clients TV, radio, or print press within 90 days or less. And honestly, the longest it has taken us is maybe 60 something days. But yeah, so that's what that means. And so we are really big on results. We're really big on integrity. We're really big on not just getting you press, but showing you how to profit from your press. And I know we're going to talk about that a little later as well. So you can grow and scale your business and scale your influence.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yes.
So I appreciate you saying that. We got some folks. I see some more folks joining. So do me a favor, y'all. When you jump on, drop a comment. Let us know that you're tuning in, where you're at. You can drop the name of your business. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them down. We will definitely have some time for people to ask questions. And then, of course, we need you to share this out. So share this out. Put it on your page, tag some other folks that need to be here. If you are a business owner or entrepreneur, if you are making, 6 figures and beyond, or even if you haven't hit the 6-figure mark yet, that's totally fine. But make sure you tag some other folks that need to be here. Your entrepreneur friends, your business besties, get them in this conversation because this is a lot of stuff that, people don't want you to know, and they don't want you to be able to leverage these tools and these resources and platforms. So we want to make sure we get as many people in the conversation. Proceed.
Yes. And actually what I'm going to do is share it on my page.
Okay.
That way people can see it. Even if I'm going to share it on my Facebook.
Okay.
so that way people can see. So I just shared it on my Facebook. Okay, cool. So we were talking about who I am and why you should listen to me. So I also am a six-figure award winner, also US Reporter Magazine's top 30 under 30. And a little known fact that you may not know is that I am IMDb accredited for working on award shows like Black Music Honors, BET Awards, Stellar Awards, and also early in my career, I've worked on not award shows, I just said that, TV shows and movies like Franklin and Bash and the Bobby DeBarge story, worked with several different celebrities. Here you'll see Jonathan McReynolds and Johnny Gill from New Edition. They're going on tour. Who's going to the tour? I think they're going on tour next year. Are you going, Ryan?
I would like to. I haven't put it on my calendar yet, but I would like to, definitely.
Yeah, New Edition and Tony Braxton and
I did see that though. I did see the information.
New Edition, Boyz II Men.
I did see that actually. Yep, I did see that.
Yeah. So and then this is a short list of some of the press placements that we have been able to secure for our clients. So as we're going in 2026, I want to know where you want to see yourself featured. Make sure to comment it if it's anything from this list or even anything else that you have been eyeing that you want to be featured in. So safe to say that you are in safe hands. And so what I really want to talk about today and what you're going to learn in the Lunch and Learn is what is press and why it's important, because there's a lot of different myths out there and I really want to clear the air. And then we're going to be talking about the number one thing you need to get press, the top 5 things you need to have in your press toolkit. And we're going to talk about the proven press strategy behind the 100% success rate that has landed our clients in Good Day Atlanta, Tamron Hall Show, Forbes, Essence, and more. And so the first thing is, what is public relations? So I want to hear from you, Ryan. From what you know, what would you say public relations is?
I mean, to me, what comes to mind is just media.
Yeah.
And press, CNN, ABC, NBC, maybe digital media, stuff like that. So to me, it just means like being featured on like media, whether that's TV, radio, internet, and so forth.
Yeah. So when it comes down to, let's go to the root of everything and why that's important, right? So I'm gonna say the nitty gritty of what public relations is, and then we'll kind of break that down. So public relations is actually the practice of managing and sharing information from an individual or an organization to the public in order to influence their perception. So what that really means is it's really developing, sustaining, maintaining, increasing that know, like, trust factor so that you can influence a buying decision. So under the marketing umbrella, you have public relations. And then under the public relations umbrella, you have community relations, you have employee relations, you have crisis communications, and you have media relations. And media relations is what we specialize in, which is what you were talking about, the media and the press. And here's why. So 73% of consumers, according to Forbes and Nielsen, 73% of consumers are willing to pay more for brands that they trust, right? And so that's why developing that know, like, trust factor is important. And when it comes to the media, you're actually borrowing their audience, you're borrowing their trust, you're borrowing their reputation, right? And so, like, one of our clients, for example, just from a TV segment, she got 2 new clients, and I'm not talking about 30 days later or a month later. It was like within a couple of days. And because she's been able to be in the media consistently and have that authority, it's also been something that she's called on for city proclamations. She's called on for sponsorships. It's because of that trust, developing that trust and increasing that trust. And we know with all of AI and then with all of like scams and just things like that, it's really, really important now to really build that trust and really foster that trust. And with press, it allows you to speed up that level of trust and that trust factor and authority. And then the other thing is, I always say press is like your business street cred, right? That stamp of approval. Obviously, we're all experts here, I'm quite sure. And we're known within our circles of influences, right? But when it comes to scaling and growing your business, that's not enough, right? You need to scale your reach and you need to be known outside of your circles of influence. You need to be known on larger platforms and on larger stages. And that's, the importance of press there as well. And then let's be honest, right? When it comes to our businesses, we want to make money, right? We're in business to make money. But what do you need to make money? You need people, right? And so press allows you to get in front of more people, right? So that you can have a larger pool of people to sell. And another thing that I think people notice is we get so many marketing messages every day. Like, Ryan, if you had to guess, like, how many marketing messages do you think we receive a day?
Oh, a day? Probably like, I don't know, probably like hundreds. For real, I would say like from emails to text messages to social media notifications to if you're watching TV, if you listen to the radio, anybody still listen to the radio. If you're just driving and you see a billboard, if you was like, probably hundreds, like 500 a day, probably, or 1,000.
What if I told you we get 4,000 to 10,000 marketing messages a day? That's a lot.
Crazy. That's crazy. I believe it.
So what that means for us is that we have to show up more often and in more places just to be seen. And so you want to make sure, you have multiple traffic sources. So for example, you may be using ads as a traffic source, with Ryan, or you may be attending events as a traffic source, or you may be, posting on social media every day as a traffic source. You should also have press as a traffic source. You want to have as many traffic sources as possible. The other thing too is, you may rely on referrals for your business. But when you have press and something that is, let's say, for example, a press feature, a TV feature may be, 3 to 7 minutes long, but it's something that's going to last forever. It's going to be an asset that you can use forever when it comes to using it as a part of your sponsorship decks or your proposal decks, and we're going to get into leveraging a little bit later. But I know for me, for example, I shop on Amazon. I know a lot of y'all shop on Amazon. I just made 2 Amazon orders this week because I have an event coming up. I don't have time to go out and shop right now. I just don't.
That ain't too bad. I made 2 today, and I'm like, okay, right.
You did. Right. You're not the only one.
It's Christmas coming up, so it's like, hey, it's worse. It's worse during this time of year.
Exactly. And so when I go on Amazon and I'm looking for stuff, I look at the reviews. And especially when it comes to clothes and stuff like that, I'm looking at videos. I'm looking at okay, how is this going to fit on my body type? Let me find somebody who has my body type, right? And so when it comes to press, it's like a higher level of review or higher level of referral, because you're getting that third party validation and people want to see you in action. They want to see your expertise in action. And so that's why it's important too. And then when it comes to the business world, we talk a lot about lead generation, right? And so you may have a checklist as a lead magnet, or you may have a freebie as a lead magnet, whatever the case may be. Well, press is another lead magnet. It's another way to get people on your list and to foster and nurture them and bring them into your ecosystem, so that you can generate that revenue. So that's what public relations is, and that's what press is, and that's the importance of it. Anything you have on that, Ryan? Any other questions on that?
Yeah, that's great. I love what you said about it really being the lead magnet. And that's where, I think it's a great conversation where we can talk about both angles. That's why for me is having that, after you have the press, using as lead magnet, then what? Because a lot of people don't have the funnel, the landing page, the automation, the ads, the retargeting and stuff behind that. So I think that's the best way that people should look at press. If you do get big hits and you make a lot of money from it and you go viral and stuff like that, that's great. But I think it's, much smarter and strategic to look at it as like just a lead magnet to just get you out there. And then once you have that attention, capturing it, putting them on your email list, having them follow you on social media, getting them into your funnel and stuff like that, so you can actually monetize that. Because in general, I mean, like you said, like you've been talking about, as far as the attention and people in different areas, people have to realize that, especially in the economy, the world that we live in today, and it's getting worse every day, in my opinion. It's harder for people to buy from you. Let's just keep it real.
Yeah,
stuff you can do 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago, something up and people just buy it automatically and stuff like that. It generally doesn't work like that anymore. Like, the consumer's a lot smarter. So you have to realize that majority of the people that see you for the first time, if you're a business owner, they're not ready to buy. And that's okay. So how do we capture their attention? How do we capture their information? How do we nurture the relationship? How do we communicate with them? How do we tell them about all the great, amazing things that we do and how we can solve the problems they have? And that's what our business speaks to. And then leverage that relationship through press. I think that's great. Also, what's your thoughts on, because I'm sure a lot of people are like, that's great, I can use it as a lead magnet, but it can potentially be an expensive lead magnet. Meaning, I'm paying a PR person or I'm paying media outlets. Like, I know people that pay $20,000-$30,000 just to be on a podcast. I'm like, I'm not saying it's bad, but it's like, you got to make sure you're strategic with those dollars. So what do you say to folks that are like, well, that's great, but like, it's too expensive for me, or I did it before, I spent a lot of money, I didn't get an ROI. Yeah, I know I got to use it as a lead magnet, but at the same time, like, as a business owner, I can't necessarily afford to spend a lot of money on this if it's not generating an ROI.
Well, I can tell you can't afford not to, because where we are, like, to get eyeballs on your business, but you have to do it strategically. But before I go there, let me go back to something else you said. You said, the way things are, how people used to buy from you is different. It doesn't work like that anymore. But if you have a great reputation, it can work like that. And that's the power of press, is building that reputation. And when you get consistent press, people are seeing you for the first time, but also there's more times often than not that they're not seeing you for the first time because you've done press. True. And so I wanted to point that out. But back to what you said. So we have had clients who are saving upwards to $50,000 from doing press and doing it the right way. And let me tell you why. So
wow, I want to hear this. That's crazy.
Yes.
If y'all want to hear that, let me know. Drop something in the comments. Drop something. If y'all get value out of this conversation, please drop something. Put an emoji, put a fire or something like that in the chat. Also, make sure you share this out. You tag people and everything like that.
And I'm going to give you real scenarios. Can you still see me?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to give you real scenarios. So when we work with our clients, so we see the most success for clients who work with us anywhere from 6 months to a year, right? And so now we're starting to work with clients just a year, really. Our 6-month plan is actually retiring the end of this month. So if you're interested, let me know before the year is up. So let's say, for example, so one of our clients, she's been featured. And also, while I'm saying this, let me bust another myth. People think that what you need to get press is followers, and it's not true, because we have a client who has less than 300 followers on Instagram, and she was featured. We got her featured in Essence twice in 1 week. Wow. So that shows you, like, followers is not the determination. The determination is your expertise. So let's say, for example, you do a campaign. And let's say the campaign is $16,000. Okay. And so whenever one important thing is looking at the right metrics and make sure that you are actually measuring things as well. So you can really see what the reach of a certain outlet is and what it would be to actually run an ad at that particular outlet. So I'll give you like a real example. Let's see what outlet I can give you. Maybe I can give you Essence. Let me see. So let's just take, let me get another one. I want to give y'all real examples because I want to show you like this is not like theory. This is real life stuff. Okay, so let's take a TV station, for example. So let's say you're featured on a TV station and I'll take like your affiliate. So let's say ABC, for example. Well, if you're featured on ABC and I can show you a ABC station I'm looking at right now. To run an ad with that station is $3,000 for that feature alone. Okay, and that's one feature. And so let's say within a campaign, you get 16 different features, right? And so let's say 16 of them was TV, and that's $3,000 per feature. So 3,000 times 16 is 48,000. And your entire campaign was $16,000. Well, that means you just saved $32,000 if you were to go out there and purchase an ad at that particular TV outlet. And that's an ABC affiliate. We ain't even talking about national TV. Yeah. National TV could be $100,000, you know, and that can be for a 30-second national radio ad or for a 3-minute national TV ad. So when you're looking at doing, even if you do a year campaign, you're looking at maybe $30-something thousand, like you're still saving money. So we've had clients who've done a campaign where their total, the total average advertising value is over $239,000 from the earned press that we got them. Wow. So they're already saving that much, hundreds of dollars. So that's how it makes sense for your business and actually saves you in your business. And so that is why like it is a good investment. And for the ROI conversation, like we talked about earlier, like you have to leverage it, and then you have to have your back end together too. So let's say, matter of fact, on my page, I'm not sure if you know Terry Rice. He's an amazing consultant, sales consultant, marketing consultant. And he told me about his story when he got featured on Good Morning America. And he was like, honestly, like it flopped because he didn't have anything to send people back to, you know, so it was almost like a wasted opportunity. So one of the things we talk about in my business is profit alignment. How do we make sure, because we do profit alignment reviews with our clients and we look at their back end, their customer journey, their sales funnel, and their sales vehicles to make sure they're, number one, using the right sales vehicle, and we're using the right call to action, that we're taking people back to and getting them into their ecosystem. So those things, like many people come to me and they've had the experience like, man, I've been on CNN, I've been on this, I've been on that, and I didn't see any impact on my bottom line. That's because you didn't have the right strategy in place.
Yeah. That's a lot. That is great. That's great information. Like, listen, that's great information. I'm just trying to soak it all up. If y'all getting value out of this conversation, let us know. Drop something in the comments. Drop an emoji, share it out, tag some folks. I'm loving this conversation, and I'm even like thinking about things I want to do and look at everything differently. So you just have a wealth of knowledge that people really need. Thank you.
Yeah. And so the next thing I want to talk about is the number one thing that you need to get press. So what do you think that would be, Ryan? We already said it's not followers.
I would say a good story, a good message, something. Yeah, I mean, something worthwhile that people are going to be interested in, whether that is a product or service, whether it's a story, whether it's something, that's what comes to mind for me.
Okay. So anybody watching, I want you to comment, what do you think is the number one thing you need to get press? I ask this question all the time, anytime I'm speaking, and I haven't got the right answer yet.
Wow.
So I want you to comment what you think the number one thing is you need to get press. So what that is a big mindset. A
Mm.
big mindset. And we're going to break down what that means. So a big mindset, B is for beliefs, I is for intentions, and G is for goals. So a funny story, I had a client who came to me and she was like, and this client has all the degrees, all the letters behind her name. She's a physician. And she was like, Lenitra, like, I believe in your 100% success rate. I trust you. It's me I don't trust. Like, I don't want to mess up
Mm.
your success rate. And I was like, you're not going to mess up my success rate. And so she had a stuck mindset, right? So let me tell you what's not going to help you get press, right? So let's start with be your belief. So if you believe that everyone is out to get you, press doesn't work, publicists don't keep their promises, you can do everything in yourself, you want to work in silos, you want to DIY everything, press probably isn't going to work for you, right?
Mm.
If your intentions are to be famous, popularity, and vanity, you're not going to get the best results. And if your goals is just simply likes, views, and followers, that's a stuck mindset. Now, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with likes, views, and followers, but that should not be your main goal.
Mm.
Now, when you have a big mindset, you believe in your story, you're confident in your expertise. You know that for this mission that you have, it's going to take a team. You trust in others, you believe in investing, and your intentions, instead of it just being famous and popular and vanity, your intentions are to impact, transform lives, and change the world. Our clients who we've seen the best results with, they have pure intentions. And then your goals, instead of just being likes, views, and followers, is sustainability, longevity, long term success, and your outlook is what's the best that can happen.
Mm.
So the client that I told you about earlier, I love Dr. Judy. She worked with us, and so in working with us, not only was she able to develop and add to the social proof for her clients, but she was able to develop social proof for herself. And that was huge. And so she even told me, like, Lenitra, on the days when business gets hard and I look back at the press that you and your team got me, and it reminds me of who I am. Like, it starts with that confidence piece. And since she's worked with us, what's happened? She's used, and this goes back to the leverage piece, right? She uses her press links whenever she's doing sales proposals, doing proposals for corporations. And now she just was on a TEDx stage a couple months ago as well. So using press to leverage it for speaking opportunities. And so that's what it looks like to get that ROI back in your pocket.
Mm. That
So
was good.
yeah,
That was good. Yeah, that was something I wasn't thinking of it that way. That's really good.
yeah, yeah. And then I'll ask you this too, and this is for anyone who's watching. While we're talking right now, or while you're watching this, if you got a notification in your email right now and Good Morning America wanted to feature you, would you be ready?
Mm.
I want you to put a yes in the comments, no, or maybe, and be honest. Would you be ready? So I had a client, I actually met her at an event. And when I heard her story, you talked about having a good story. I heard her story. I'm like, oh my gosh, like we got to work together, right? She's in the military. Her husband's in the military. Her children's in the military. She has 12 kids, all by her husband. That don't really happen too much these days. You got 12 kids, all by the same husband. And so anyway, so she helps women navigate their life through poise and not falling apart at the seams, da, 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 da. And I just instantly started thinking like all these angles we could pitch and all these different places we could get her. So fast forward maybe like a month later, I got a text message, and the text message was like, hey, Lenitra, I'm finalizing my show. I need, an additional guest to talk about XYZ. And I was like, oh, I have the perfect person. Because he was like, it needs to be family related, etc. I was like, oh, I have the perfect person. So I reached out to her. I told her what I needed. I told her what she needed to get back to me. Less than an hour later, the spot was gone because she wasn't ready and she didn't get that stuff back to me.
Mm,
And guess who
that's
texted me?
crazy. Wow.
Guess who that was that texted me?
Cool.
It was a producer from the Tamron Hall show.
Mm,
He missed out on a national syndicated TV show because she wasn't ready.
wow.
And so
Mm-mm.
I don't want that to happen to you or anyone else. By the way, she has come a long way since then, right? And she's being featured on TV and things like that. But I love to tell that story because you're saying you want to be on Good Morning America, you want to be on CNN, etc. But are you truly ready for that?
Mm, 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 mm. That's
So
deep. Say that again, please.
So you say you want to be good on Good Morning America. You say you want to be on the Today Show. You want to be on Tamron Hall show, Essence Force, whatever. But are you truly ready? Do you have the strategies in place? And do you have the tools in place? So I want to get into the top 5 things you need in your press toolkit. But before we get into that, sound like you got some things you want to get off your chest, Ryan.
No, that's so good because it just goes really back to the mindset piece. And before you, like you say, can get big press or, get the media features or, leverage it correctly, you got to have the correct mindset and you got to be ready. That just hit home for me. And that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And I hope that was helpful for other people to really just be really be prepared and be on it because there are a lot of opportunity, and I try not as much as possible to miss any opportunities. You know what I mean? Especially it's worse when you do miss an opportunity, let's say a while years ago, whatever, and you're just so much smarter about it.
Yeah.
But you are just so right of if you have an opportunity, you gotta take advantage of it as much as possible because 9 times out of 10 it's not going to be there again.
Yeah, and the other thing too is clarity and readiness comes in action, not in wait until you got it all together.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I want to clarify that too. You may not have everything together, but you need to partner with someone so that you can get ready. That doesn't mean, just miss out on this opportunity. That means take the action steps to get ready and do the things you need to do.
I would agree with that.
So here's the top 5 things you need to have in your press toolkit. 1, y'all, have the right headshot. Have a professional headshot. I know we are in the age of AI and I love it, but only 3% of people I see actually have an AI headshot that looks like them.
Right. That's facts.
That's the issue. So get a professional, because listen, this headshot could be the first impression that a journalist has of you.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then the other thing too is because, we're in this AI era, it makes it even more attractive to journalists. Authenticity is even more important now because it's like a needle in a haystack at this point. So that's what's going to actually make you stand out to a journalist. So you want to make sure that you have a headshot that's professionally done by a professional photographer. You have a strategy behind the headshot. I always say selfies are for social media. Professional photos are for press. Do not submit a selfie for a magazine feature.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I'll tell you how many times I've seen this. Don't put yourself on a fictitious background. Don't do it. Don't do it. Not for press.
Not for press. Yeah.
Not for press. And so anyway, you want to make sure you have a strong headshot. You want to make sure you have headshots from the waist up, from the knees up, and then you want to make sure you have a full body headshot as well. Make sure you have alternative images. So if you're an author, make sure you have images with your book. We actually, one of our clients had a full segment on her, and they wanted childhood photos because they wanted to see her, because part of her story is something that she dealt with in childhood. So they wanted, childhood photos. So be prepared, just start grabbing those photos and put it in a drive, put it in a Google Drive. B-roll footage is important, especially if you want to be featured on TV. So, and B-roll footage is background footage, is not heavily edited. with music, all that stuff. But it's just background footage of maybe you speaking, or maybe of you, I don't know if you, depending on what you do, like just showing you in action. Also have previous press links. If you haven't been featured before, that does not discount you. That does not mean you cannot get press. So you can get press if you haven't had press before, but if you have had press before, make sure you have those links that you can show, and also have your brief press bio, which is not necessarily the same as your regular bio. So those are the top 5 things that I believe you should have in your press toolkit. And that's going to really equip you and prepare you. If you don't have some of these things, that is not an excuse to do nothing. That is not an excuse not to get press. You just need to take action in getting those things done.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I love that. Does everybody have all of these things? Some of these things, if you don't have some of these things, let us know. Drop a comment. I'm sure you have resources as well for, like, hey, I need a better headshot, or I need, certain other stuff that I need, or someone to write my bio and everything like that. Mm-hmm. I'm sure either if you don't do it in-house, and you can refer them, to resources and stuff like that. But y'all want to make sure y'all have that. Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. And so the last thing I'll share with you, and then Ryan, I'll let you, ask any additional questions, as we wrap up, is the proven press strategy formula that is, the basis of our 100% success rate. And also, I've been in the industry for over 15 years, and this is what I have seen work time and time again. And so the first part of that is conquer local media. Local media, people leave on the table, but when I tell you, it is so valuable. The first thing I'll say about why it's important is making micro goals towards your big goal. So let's say you want to be featured on Good Morning America. The first thing the producer is going to ask is, well, have they been featured on TV before? So you want to make sure that you're using local media to start building your press repertoire. It's also a great way to get in some more reps. It's a great way for national producers to see how you communicate on camera, how you speak on camera, what your camera presence is like. So, and also if you want to be featured in Essence and Forbes, like how can they see that you've already been quoted or you've already been featured in other publications? So like, I believe it was last month or the month before that, I was featured in Forbes. But before getting featured in Forbes, I made sure that I was already featured, in my local newspaper. I've also been featured in other publications before I even, was featured in Forbes. So think about wherever it is that you want to be featured, wherever you see yourself, what are those micro goals that you can achieve to get there? Mm-hmm. And then conquering local media increases your chances for bigger media opportunities. And honestly, at the end of the day, like, someone told me like, oh, I want to be featured on the Ellen show. Well, I know you're just saying that because it's popular, because Ellen isn't even on air anymore. So it's like, don't want to be featured. I don't want you to be featured somewhere just because it's popular. It's the thing to do. Like, what is your why to be featured in this place? Like, it should be that, their audience aligns with you, that they talk about the type of topics that align with your expertise, and also make sure that they have the type of guests and experts as you are. Because if they don't cover, the type of guests that you are, then it doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. So anyway, you want to make sure that you conquer local media first. The second thing is, once you've conquered local media, you want to expand to your regional area. So you can talk about some of the same topics you talked about locally. You can talk about regionally. Also, I know you love to travel like me, Ryan. So anytime you travel, it's a great time to get press in that area. Mm-hmm. So, we have clients who say, oh, I'm going to New Orleans, or, oh, I'm going to LA, whatever case may be. It's like, okay, well, we can use that as an opportunity to get you press as well while you're out there and increase your reach. So you want to know, what works regionally. Normally, like national observances work well. Also, we're in the holidays. This is like prime time, for press. So you can tie anything in to the holidays, and that's going to work locally or regionally and even nationally as well. And so once you've done you conquered local media and you've gone to regional media, you've built this strong press repertoire that's going to equip you to be able to get a faster yes for national media. And so I just want to show you a quick case study that shows this, because I'm all about showing you real life examples. This is not just theory. So also be patient, y'all, because 24% of journalists reject a pitch because of bad timing, not because they don't like you, not because your expertise isn't good, but simply because of bad timing. And that's happened a number of times with Essence. You know, we've gotten over 10 clients featured in Essence. And I know one of the earlier Essence features that we've gotten, like it took some time because of timing. So timing is important. So just keep that in mind. But anyway, this is a client here. We did what I just told you, started her with local media.
This ain't AI, y'all. It's not AI.
This is not y'all. It really is not. And matter of fact, this client said she was struggling to grow her brand locally and nationally. And she thought because she wasn't a famous celebrity that her business wouldn't get the exposure it deserved. So we worked together, and she said, my audience has grown from coast to coast, both local and national recognition. So anyway, we started locally here, then we went regionally here. So she's in Charleston, I'm in Charleston. Then we went to Columbia, which is an hour and a half away. Then we went to Charlotte, 3 hours away, and then Raleigh, which is 4 hours away. So we built up that press repertoire. And then guess what happened? She was featured on the Tamron Hall show.
That's dope. That's really dope.
So that is the proven formula that has worked time and time again. And so just to recap, I want to make sure that we were able to go over during this lunch and learn, which we have, what press is. I hope now you can say what press is, why it's important. The number one thing you need to get press. The top 5 things to have in your press toolkit, and the proven press strategy that has landed clients in Good Day Atlanta, Tamron Hall show, in Essence. And so, Ryan, I'll switch it back over to you. Any additional questions you have, or anything else you want to say? And like I said, for staying to the end, I do have something free, a free gift for y'all. So I'll share that. But Ryan, I want you to let me know if you have any other questions.
Yeah, I do. Just a few. I know we are almost at time. Well, first and foremost, thank you so much for just coming on today, sharing this great information. You got my wheels turning. If you do watch this on a replay, make sure you type replay. Let us know that you watched it. I'm also going to push this out. I did, like I said, run some ads to get some more awareness around it. I'm going to push this out, to my list as well again, and put the link to your the special thing that you have for people. I'm going to make sure we push that out and get it in front of as many people as possible. So just rapid fire, just a few questions I did have. Number one, what is the biggest media outlet or feature you've done for someone? What's the biggest platform you got someone on?
The biggest platform, I would have to say it would be Tamron Hall show.
That's major. That is major.
Yeah, I would say Tamron Hall show. We were this close to getting a client on the Kelly Clarkson show. And y'all, something else that's important, I'll just say really quick, is make sure that you have a testimonial point person, someone who, if they ask, because basically what happened is they wanted, so for the Kelly Clarkson show, this is some behind the scenes stuff, y'all. They ask you to submit a Hi Kelly video. And so they love our client, et cetera, et cetera. They're like, okay, now I want to see somebody who can speak to the impact that you've had on them. If you don't have the right person who can communicate a story, who can talk well and speak to the transformation you've had in your life, that could be the thing that just you lose out on the interview. And so just pointing that out. But yeah, I would say the Kelly Clarkson show, USA Today, Forbes, Essence. Those would be some that I can think of at the top of my head.
Okay. And then last question before we drop the link for your special gift. What's your thoughts? I mean, of course, you touched on it throughout, but what's your thoughts on more of a long-term PR approach? You know what I mean? And what I mean by that is a lot of people do it when they're like launching something, or they have something new out, or I got a book out, or I got something new that I want to put out there. But what's your thoughts on more of a long-term approach? Like, how often should someone try to get press? Should it be, every month, every quarter, every, ever so often, or when you just have stuff going on? Or what's more of like a consistent long-term approach, even if they don't have like a particular launch out there, of how they can leverage it like more long-term?
Yeah. So the thing is that people be like, oh, well, I don't have a book, or I don't have this. I
Yeah,
don't
right.
there. You have your expertise.
Mm.
Your expertise. That's what you should be getting out there consistently. And press is not a one and done type of situation. It's continuing to y'all know in music you have one hit wonders.
Yeah.
I don't want you to be a one hit wonder expert. You know what I mean? So so the approach would be every month you should have something to talk about that's tied in either to your expertise, a national observance, like national this month, national that month, into just what's going on in the market. And so you want to, because listen, people's attention span, it used to be 8 seconds. I know it's like less than that now.
It's like a millisecond. It's like half a second.
So you want to constantly be in the conversation. You want to constantly be top of mind. And so what that strategy looks like is every month, being pitched on a topic that either ties into what you have going on in your business, ties into the world, or a national observance, and making sure that you constantly have a press to profit system that's able to turn that into profit. And that's one of the things we focus a lot on, is how you turn your press into profit. So you don't want to just wait till you have a launch or something coming up, because you want to already have that anticipation already built in. You don't want to wait till you need the anticipation. You want to continuously foster that anticipation and that reputation. And I was telling somebody the other day, like, reputation is revenue.
Mm-hmm.
So
definitely, I love that. Well, before we go, of course, let people know. I know you have something special for them, so I can you can talk about that. Then I'll drop the link, and then also, of course, how can they find you? If they do want to just say, I just want to work with you. I'm ready. I want to, I want to just hire you. Like, let people know all that.
Yes. So I opened up my calendar specifically for y'all to do a free strategic press planning session with you. So we will sit down and we'll look at what makes sense for you for press right now. We'll look at what outlets you should be featured in, and we'll look at what a press to profit system looks like for you and your business, so you can grow your business, get press. We want you to get press and be known as the authority, but we also want to make sure that you get press features that can turn into revenue, recognition, and influence. So now listen, I only have 4 spots. Literally, I only have 4 spots available. So if you are interested, you can scan this QR code or go to indicator.com/exposure. And once the spots are gone, they're gone. Now, I will say we are having a decade of press domination, how experts convert press or media wins into recognition, revenue, and legacy. So that is celebrating our decade in business, but it's not just a celebration. Like, we're going to be talking about how you really sustain a business, a decade and longer, and how you convert media wins into recognition, revenue, and legacy. So if you're interested in that, comment RSVP and I can send you the link. But only have 4 spots available if you want to have a strategic press planning session with me. And that is just for you.
All right. Make sure y'all jump on that. You can scan the QR code. I also dropped the link in the chat. I'll make sure, again, that we shared it out as much as possible, so more people can get it. And if you watch this on the replay, make sure you type replay. Make sure you access that. She only got a few spots, so make you jump on it. Lenitra, again, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it. We're going to talk a lot more offline. It's a lot more stuff that I want to discuss with you, but I really just appreciate you coming on. I know you are extremely busy, have a lot going on, so I appreciate you coming on and sharing this. We definitely going to run it right back, because I definitely want to, do this again and, get in front of more people, of course. But I just really appreciate you coming on. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Ryan.
Yep. Talk soon.
All righty.
Bye, y'all.